For the past 2 months, me, my husband, and my baby traveled 10 countries around the south of Africa. And this is the best and the worst that I have seen traveling in these countries. The positive and the negative that I will mention in this video is purely my point of view and my experience. I meant to hurt no one and insult anybody's country or culture, but the opposite. This will be more of a general perspective, but if you want me to describe country by country, please leave the comments down below and I will make a video with the best and the worst of each country that we traveled. In our road trip, we made 10 countries, starting from Kenya, Tanzania, Malawi, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Namibia, South Africa, Kingdom of Eswatini, and Kingdom of Lesotho. Number 1, starting from the direction that we were moving, from north to south, I noticed that we can see more development as long as you move south, right? So there are many things that you will find or not in this development. Number 1, I noticed that the things that I will mention has its best and its worst. So I'm just gonna make a mix and I will hope that you understand. The food in general is something that is really important for me, and I noticed that big view, Africa has amazing organic food. Everything is super natural, grown by the locals, and you can get the best avocados, the best papayas, super natural, zero chemicals and things like this. But as long as we were moving south, food started to become a little bit genetically modified, as the point to find fruits like oranges with no seeds, for example. That means that it's not natural. So that is something that was a little bit disappointed. In terms of the food, like meals, you will see the general, you will see the same mostly everywhere. Like ugali in Kenya is the same, but it just changes the name on different countries. Everybody eats the same. It's like the most traditional food. When it comes to traditional foods, ugali, which is like a preparation, a dough made out of maize flour, which is super healthy and gives a lot of energy. But on the other side of the world, we're not used to that. So if you have only that choice every single day, it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle. In general, some countries with not such big development, you will barely find like restaurants. You will find like the local small restaurant with 2 tables, 3 chairs, and the lady that is making the traditional food, and that's all that you can get. As long as you move to the more developed countries, you can find more restaurants. But at the same time, something that I saw is you will find a lot of trash food, like junk food, fast food, and actually people consume it a lot. The fried chicken and the pizza that is made out of I don't know what and things like that. Sometimes that can be a little bit of a struggle. But number 2, as we move by road, we use a lot of public transport. This public transport all along the way was changing its quality, let's say. You can find very good transport like long distance buses, big buses in some places, or you can find terrible transport to move from one town to another. Something that I think that is very important to understand is that you really need to be very open-minded and use what you have. 90% of the time, you won't have the chance to book your Uber. Sometimes, the only transport is a bicycle. So being open-minded also will allow you to enjoy the ride. Sometimes this transport can be, as I said, very good and comfortable buses, long distance. Sometimes this long distance, you will have to do it on a small car that fits maybe 5 people, but there will be like 8, maybe 10, maybe more sometimes. Yes, 12 people in a car, that's my experience. Sometimes also you will find this van, like a traffic car, you know, this one. It's called matatu in Kenya, it's called colectivo, combis, it changes the name. And sometimes it will be only humans, but other times you will find that you will travel with boxes and bags and this and the other. And once again, more people than the car can actually fit. So with this I bring number 3, something that we really pay attention through all of our journey was the roads. Some countries have very good roads where you will be able to at least enjoy the journey. Some other countries have terrible roads, so maybe 5, 6, 7 hours of traveling, maybe more, it will be very bumpy, so get ready to end that trip exhausted, absolutely exhausted. Number 4, when we talk about places with more development or less development, we found some areas where Wi-Fi was very hard to get. Even though if you think, yes, we are in 2024, the world is advanced, things are not like that. There were places where we couldn't find Wi-Fi in any hotel, and maybe the only one that we found was extremely slow, very bad quality. So if you are a content creator, if you work using Wi-Fi, just be prepared to maybe have some days off from work until you find a place where you can actually work and use Wi-Fi, because you won't find it in some places. Number 5, something that I noticed, especially being a woman, it's a kind of struggle choosing my clothes and the way that it's not that I had to, but I like to be the most respectful with the cultures that I found or the environment where I'm at. And I made a really bad choice with the clothes that I was wearing, especially in countries with a lot of Muslim culture where women cover themselves completely. So try to, if you are a woman and you pretend to come to these places, try to bring long dresses or maybe more normal clothes, not something that will expose you too much, to call the attention of many people looking at you. We have visitors. And also to be respectful with the culture. This calling the attention sometimes is not that positive. If they see you out, instead of, you know what I mean? Number 6, something that I found quite uncomfortable. If you travel by road, every time that you reach to your destination, you will have a lot of people almost harassing you to get to offer you their services, taxi, etc. Especially if you are white person. I had people even inside of the bus without even getting off the bus, or sometimes the car or the small combi. They will be even running on your window for you to get their services, and they will be very, very insistent. So yes, just be prepared for things like this. This happens actually 90% of the time. Traveling in Africa is actually very cheap if you do it by road, very expensive if you do it by flying. The beauty of the road is, besides the good and the bad things that you can find about the quality of the roads and things like that, you will be able to see the landscape, the nature, which is everywhere, and it's very enjoyable. Number 7, talking about traveling in buses. Something that was no, I never found something like that on other countries actually, and it's something that I'm not happy about it. Traveling sometimes can happen during the day, sometimes can happen during the night, and me as a traveler, I adapted myself to be able to sleep in quite uncomfortable positions on the bus, and I quite managed. And I used to be someone that could not sleep if I don't have completely darkness, completely silence, completely comfort on the bed, and etc. Something that I found that I couldn't adapt at all is that be ready to travel with loud music, even if it's night. Loud music. It's not like they will put, maybe I'm used to, at least in my country, if you travel by night, they will shut the lights down and you will travel in silence, Not here. Not in Africa. I don't know if there is any country in Africa that offers this opportunity, but in my entire experience I had to travel with music, very loud music, and not like chill, relaxing music. You will be more ready to dance than actually to sleep. Something funny that I must add to this, because sometimes it can be music, but sometimes if you travel in these buses that have like a TV or things like that, even in the ferry, I remember it can be music or it can be movies, and something particular about the African movies, they like to shout. They are very, very loud, so be ready to try to sleep with people shouting in a very loud volume. That was very, very hard for me. Número 8. People is beautiful everywhere, especially when we haven't been in too many big cities, so most of our journey was through small towns and cities. And people is chaotic, people is loud, but everybody has a smile on their face. And even though most places talk their native languages, many of these countries, or most of them, will speak English, and at least they will try to understand you and have a conversation with you to give you directions or help you with anything. Number 9. Security, as in every single part of the world, is very important to keep in mind. Funny enough for me, I've been robbed at the beginning of my trip and at the end of my trip, and I would say these places were the most insecure, and I think it was the low point of the entire trip. But anything can happen. We felt very safe in many other places, but it doesn't mean that you don't have to be careful everywhere you go. At some points, in some places, me not being a black woman, I was kind of receiving a lot of attention. And as long as we were moving south, where you can find more mix of cultures and colors of skin, I was feeling more like one of the rest, so I felt that I could relax a little bit in terms of thinking about security, not actually feeling insecure and things like this, but just keeping the guard. So I've been robbed anyway, you know. Something that I feel that most of the countries that we've been in should improve is how clean they keep their spaces. At the moment where we reach places, cities that were actually clean, the difference is massive. And I believe that that starts from oneself. You know, if you are eating a candy, just keep the paper with you, put it in your pocket and wait until you have a moment to throw it. The thing is, in the most dirty places that we found, there were nowhere places to be found trash bins. Trash bin, nowhere to be found. So it's also very, I saw that it was very, very normal for people just to drop things in their way, and that's it. And actually, the clean places doesn't mean that they have more or they are richer, but it makes a difference. And this is not just for Africa, this is for everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world. Keeping a place clean is easiest than we think. Another point to add in this, how clean a place looks, something that I found very interesting is here in many countries in Africa, at least the ones that I know, let's say, I don't really want to mention countries in this video, I want to do it very general, but once again, if you want me to go country by country, just leave a comment down below and I will make the best and the worst of every country that I've seen. Something to add to this is from the moment is in Africa you can find many forms of transport, right? Taxis, and you can have bodabodas, at least in Kenya. That's I'm using the expressions from Kenya because this is now where I live, which are the motorbikes. Motorbikes that it will drive you anywhere you need to go. Up to 1 or 2 people, sometimes more, but 1 or 2, it should be enough. Places where the taxi is a bicycle also, and we also found cars being like, I call this carpooling, where you share a taxi. You can take the taxi and more people will jump in and they will drop you somewhere. You will share a car, which I found that very, very, very cool. Or you also have the big combis, the colectivos, matatus, or even bigger. Also tuk-tuk, I'm forgetting about the tuk-tuks. The tuk-tuk is like this motorbike, but it looks like a small car because it has a roof on it, but it's, so you have like two seats, but at the end it's a motorbike driving. All of this diversity of transport actually brings a lot of chaos and dirt and insecurity to the place. The truth is, the moment where we reach some countries, let's say Zambia for example, tuk-tuks and bicycles and motorcycles disappear, and you can see a huge difference in the organization of the place and how safe you actually feel. Also clean. There's not so many people. You know, when you have a lot of like boda and bicycles, like 50, 20 in every corner, and tuk-tuks passing by, some places are a real chaos in terms of this. but at the same time, in the same continent, different countries, we saw a completely different view. And in my opinion, it's better. Number 10, and this will be it for this video, I just want to say that if you come from far away from Africa and they have been telling you many funny things about this beautiful continent, come and prove your own reality about this place, because it's a huge, beautiful, diverse place to come and see. Something that we relate in Africa is about poverty, and there's no poverty such as the one that we are shown our entire life. I'm talking about my own experience and things that I used to hear about these places before ever coming here, and I was able to find myself that this continent is very rich. It's very rich in nature. It's very rich in food, in quality of food. It's very rich in simplicity, in how humble the people can be, and not just for lacking, but for enjoying the present moment. It's beautiful to see how simple people can live and realize that we don't really need too much in life to actually be happy. From the beauty of kids running with no shoes in a soil grass, to the lady carrying a lot of stuff in their head, which is not easy, or the little boy that takes care of many goats taking a nap under the tree, or people speaking loud and laughing in markets, music everywhere, which music is very, very happy. I haven't heard any like sad music here in Africa. Every music that you will hear in every country, it makes you dance. It makes you dance, no doubt. And Africa is very rich. It's very rich. And if I must say something, is that the only thing I see about this is that the same Africans sometimes don't realize this. But I hope they will, and they can start watering their own grass to make it beautiful, instead of thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it, and I think that's what the African needs to do, because the potential is huge. The potential is huge. And yeah, maybe something that I saw that is funny is that more developed countries are actually because of people that came from other places to come and build in this place. But this thing about watering your own grass, it brings that. You can also build the same in your place and make it look beautiful, and not waiting that someone from outside would come and make your place to look beautiful. I think that's something that this continent is missing, and I have seen anything about this continent, only 10 countries, but at least it's a little bit that I can give my opinion about this. Before I end this video, I will take the moment to answer some of your questions that you left me on the community of YouTube on my last post, where I asked you if you had any doubts about this trip, and some of you dropped some questions, so let's include it. Oh my god, I dropped this. So Hans Maluleka 3142 is asking, how do you manage to keep on moving while things work against you, like bad comments and losing your items? items. Okay, yes, guys. So as I told you at the beginning, I was robbed 2 times, like never in my life. And how I managed to keep on moving. There is no other choice. You have to keep on moving. I'm very grateful that I was actually just losing material items that could be recovered. I recovered the first one and my new phone got stolen once again. So now I'm just using an old one that my husband gave me until I get a new one. But bad comments, I don't really pay attention to those bad comments because no one that bad comes with a bad energy will bring you growth, you know. Critique can be done, even if it's a negative critique, can be done with a very good energy, and you will clearly be able to receive it in a way that allows you to grow as a person, as a human, as a professional. So the people that is just bringing hate, I just put a wall and reject it so the energy can just go back to them, that problem. And yes, losing my items, it wasn't a very nice situation. It brought me a lot of sadness, frustration, and other emotions. Sometimes some disagreements. Also, when I'm traveling with someone, he also gets worried and things maybe don't go too well. But it's just a sad day. The next day is gonna be a good day for sure. And just get me ready. Just prepare me for maybe even pay more attention or just learning. Always try to learn, but it's very important to move on. And also, we were on the move, so another day is coming with more stories to tell, with more situations to live, brand new places to see. So at the end, you let it go and you enjoy the present with what you have. So Layla Harris 2881 is asking me a lot of questions about my pregnancy. As you know, guys, we've been 3 in this journey. I've been traveling pregnant for these past 2 months, and it's been such an amazing experience. But if you have questions about it, this is the moment to also leave me questions about. I want to do a special video about how I felt traveling pregnant, what is my experience about traveling pregnant, and so you can drop all your questions about it in this video, because I will be answering in my next video, in this special video that I will do about it. I will be answering the questions that you do in this video. So any questions that you have, she asked me things like, how is the level of prenatal care there in Kenya compared to Argentina? What have you been your cravings so far? Are you planning to go back to Argentina for the birth, etc.? All the questions about, it's gonna be about me traveling pregnant. So I have received a lot of questions about it, how I managed to do this and the other. So I really want to do a special video about it. So I will be answering the questions that you have about that topic and in the comments that you leave on this video. So any doubt, I will be reading this video, the comments, to make this next video and answer your questions. But I will do a special video about my experience traveling with a baby traveler commando, for sure, for sure. 10 countries already and it's not even born. Hey baby, you are blessed for sure. Balenan is asking me, I want to know if you think traveling by bus is worthy in Africa. Is it safe, or will you have to have someone with you? I think it is worthy. It's worth it because every time that you're on the road, you are able to see the place, even if you just is by a window, right? But it's not the same as flying. Flying sometimes is whoop, and you get there, and it's more expensive. Traveling by road, it's cheaper, and as I mentioned in this video, it's not gonna be a bus all the time. Majority, yes, we found buses, long distance buses, and most of them are very, very comfortable, but sometimes you will have to travel in other vehicles, like maybe a car or a combi full of other people, or sometimes you're lucky and you have a small space for you. But be ready also, be ready to be more tired, for sure. And yes, something, me as a solo traveler, as a solo female traveler, I don't think I would travel many of these places by myself. I think I would prefer to have someone with me. You could, 100%, you can go anywhere. You can go anywhere by yourself. But in this case, I felt very safe having Marwa, that is actually an African also, and yes, I felt very, very safe with him, because of this thing that sometimes you can feel like eyes on you, especially if you are a white person, right? Ali Assad Mod is asking which country had the most organic food, and I would say most of them, 50%, maybe 70% of these countries, you are able to go to the local market and find very organic fruits actually grew by the local people there. As we head south is where we started to find more genetically modified food. Also, if you go and try to find the local food, also that is more organic, because as I was telling you, we started to find all of these brands of fast food everywhere. And trust me, if you want to live a long life, avoid these places. That's the funny thing, that's something that I noticed that really caught my attention. These places didn't exist before. These places, actually, Africa being such a rich area with fertile soil to grow very natural, locals are growing their food and they don't use any of this poison that are spread in other countries, that makes the food not be healthy at all. And then this, like having all this opportunity to eat very healthy, having even in your culture, the local food, the traditional foods are very, very healthy. These companies come and bring you this new option, and this option is nothing but healthy. So don't forget where you come from, because where you come from is long life. This that they are offering you, like with smells that actually had additives, so it's such a big market in this. I don't wanna transform this video into an anti-system or conspiracy and give my opinion express my opinion too loud. Sometimes I need to take care, not sometimes, many times actually, of what I say. But you have very organic food, keep on using it. That's the medicine that the Mother Earth is giving us. It's the things that grow from the soil, you know. Even the animals, I was a vegetarian for years, and now I'm eating more meat since I'm in Africa. Still trying to find my own decision if I'm really happy about it or not. But the thing, even the meat here is healthier than other places, because animals are here eating grass and nothing else. They are not injected with strange things and things like that. But okay, this question is enough. The last question that I will answer for today, because it's getting dark, it's from Matilda Tieno. She says, my question is, how was your experience like being in the South and part of East Africa? Talk about meeting the people, climate, environment, and the geography. The climate, we saw everything. Also, go and watch the journey, because I made a video in every single place that we were there, so you can follow with us the whole journey. Everything that happened to us is here on my channel, so you can just go and watch it. So we went from very hot and swimming on the beach to even seeing snow. We didn't reach to the snow, fresh snow. It was already melting. But yes, we saw snow in the kingdom of Lesotho. Very, very cold in the south. We went from bikinis to scarf and coats, and that's also nice. It's very nice to have some variety. The people is very nice everywhere. You can see that maybe in the big cities people can be more aggressive, or not aggressive like in a bad meaning, but just minding their own business and everybody trying to hustle, so they don't really have time to be nice sometimes. But you will see a smile on everybody most of the time, 90% of the time, and everywhere. Everybody is very hospitable. Everybody is very happy to receive people that comes and visit their country, so that is very, very nice. And the geography is very beautiful. Africa is amazing. I have no words to describe how many landscapes and opportunities and different things to see, from the beautiful blue ocean water to the desert. I've never seen a desert like that. Go watch my video from Namibia, the Namib desert, to the mountains, and Africa is beautiful, guys. Thank you so much. Guys, this is it for today. I hope you enjoy this video. I wanted to do it more general and not really mention countries, but as I told you, if you want me to go country by country, give my opinions, leave the comments down below and I will make a video about it. Also, don't forget to leave your question about me traveling, pregnant, holding a baby, carrying a baby that is already a traveler, and leave all your doubts about my experience. If you have something that you want to ask about my journey and traveling in this condition, I don't like that word, but in this situation, go ahead, leave your comment, subscribe to the channel, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the people that always coming back to my videos. Welcome to the new ones, and I hope I can see you on the next video. Send you a lot of love and light. Mwah.